what incentive do rich people now have to become rich? They don't. They just...
Yeah, well, like I say, human beings don't need any more incentive than to improve. So as long as you keep some element of, you get some value for your extra work, you don't have a problem. But obviously, what incentive is there for somebody to work if they're rich, idiot? What incentive is there, if I get a Harvard education, but I got 10 million bucks in the bank, what incentive is there for me to take that Harvard education and do anything productive with it? There's not a fucking bit of incentive. I got huge incentive. It's just to, you know, put $9 million in the bank and take $1 million and just decide to go golfing and yachting and whoring and whatnot. So your fucking argument is crap.
Have the incentive to work below that line at which you tax them, and they'll live their lives at that line, right below that line. And thus, you don't have any more rich people to tax. This is...
Yeah, bullshit. I mean, like I said, most taxes are paid by working class. So you're just talking about one class of taxation, not the majority of taxation. The majority of taxation is sales tax, property taxes, and payroll taxes. So quit playing your bullshit game. There's only one progressive tax left, and in most states there isn't even that, okay? They're taxing lotteries, and they're taxing cigarettes, and they're taxing lots of other stuff regressively, asswipe.
Why socialistic societies always end up falling into poverty.
Well, that's bullshit right there, too. So you're saying that the socialist experiment has been done in some sort of coherent and scientifically fair manner. Is that your argument? We gave Castro a fair fight, right? Like Castro, he got a fair fight, right? I mean, decades of sanctions and the rest of it, that's what you consider a fair fight, right? We giving fucking ammunition and bombs and materials to Osama bin Laden over in Afghanistan, that was helping Russia with a fair fight. We weren't playing fucking underhanded bullshit games, right? And then what are we doing now? What are our bankers doing all across the world now? What are they doing in Indonesia and a lot of other countries to fuck their systems? I mean, you're a fucking weasel.
Property. That's why, because if you tax the rich and subsidize the poor, you inevitably cause less rich and...
Yeah, bullshit. Well, there should be less rich. The rich have no value, okay? What's valuable is a worker who has an incentive to do more work. That's valuable. A rich, loafing, fat ass, you know, feeding turkey to their dog, buying Barbie clothes on QVC, sitting on 20 million bucks, isn't doing the fucking human race a goddamn bit of fucking good. So, yeah, if I got to choose between one or the other, I'm going to give incentive to one or the other. I'm going to give incentive to that worker because he's proven himself worthy of something. Fuck you, scumbag. Have you ever done real work in your life? Have you ever done like a real job, a real hard job? I bet you haven't.
More poor.
Yeah, whatever. What an asshole. But it really comes down to that. I mean, you know, this all became obvious to me when I was like, what, 15 years old. Well, okay, I learned it before that when I delivered newspapers. That's how hard work. When I was a kid, I mean, I had to sacrifice a good hunk of my life to do that shit. And it was shitty pay. But, you know, when I got a real job in a real, you know, restaurant, and there's other men working beside you, and you see how hard they work, you know, and they were imports, you know, Chinese, and, you know, they were the nicest people, but they worked like mules. Their life was work. And, you know, they sent all the money home to their families so their families could live, and they basically just sacrificed themselves. They killed their bodies. They destroyed the value of their own life, their own welfare, and, I mean, you want to talk to me about integrity? Well, there's fucking goddamn integrity. And to think about people exploiting those people, taking advantage and, you know, paying them, you know, underpaying them grotesquely. I mean, it was just, you're a disgusting piece of shit, you fucking people. And, you know, wait, you know, someday you get yours. Like I said, let's see if we have a revolution one of these days. We'll take care of your kind. You know, it's good you did on video. Yeah, because you'll be easy to find. So anyway, let's get to the other asshole, this eagle fucktard, this fat fucking pig. You know, this jackass. You know, he made videos ragging on me and talking about, oh, I kick people out of my stick ham rooms. And then I went in his stick ham room and he kicked me out in a matter of minutes. You know, and I didn't say a goddamn thing personal. I was just talking about India and exploitation, and he just didn't want to hear it. And so he's just such a fucking hypocrite. So let's play his little fucking video.
What a condescending cunt you are. Now that the ad hominem's out of the way, let me just add, well, you're an idiot too. Did it ever occur to you?
Yeah, well, you're what doesn't really matter? I mean, you know what you are. I can see that you know what's inside your fucking head. You can see it in your eyes. You have that little bendy thing in the eyebrow, and that's always a giveaway. You're a conniving, weaselly, little wheel-turning son of a bitch.
That the act of taxation for the purposes of giving to charity discourages giving to charity in the first place. A lot of people seem to think that without taxation no one would give to charity, when in fact the act of taxation causes people to say, you know what, government's already taken our money to give to charity, so I'm not going to give to charity.
Yeah, what a crock of shit. I mean, the people who give to charity, the most percentage of their money, that's the real key thing, right? The ones who sacrifice most of their lifestyle, and that's really the thing. I mean, the rich will give pennies, but they don't give till it hurts. And the middle class and the poor will. You know, they give real money, not you know, what do you want to call it? I mean, just, you know, oh, I gave up, I have 56 motorcycles in my beach house. Well, now I only have, you know, 54 motorcycles in my beach house. That's the kind of giving they give. It's fuck you.
And you might say, well, if we didn't tax them, they wouldn't give to charity. Yes, they would. Well, if we didn't tax them as that much, they wouldn't give that much to charity. Yes, they would.
Yeah, look, the only reason why in history the rich ever gave any money to charity was the fact that there was a gigantic tax penalty. There was a 90% tax bracket, huge inheritance tax, and so to avoid it, they sat there and gave the money and built Carnegie Hall or did some other thing, and they were doing it too, again, just to avoid taxation because they didn't like government, and it's still bullshit because what is, you know, especially at those times, because government was doing some real productive things like building the Hoover Dam.
And in fact, horrible little statistic here, 87 cents on the dollar goes to administrative costs for government charity.
Yeah, see, look at that, 87. So this is another guy. The other guy was saying 75 cents on the dollar. Now this guy's saying 87% of the tax money that goes to, apparently, I don't know what exactly, which charity he's talking about, which welfare program. But it's just bullshit. Like I said, go to Medicare, go to Medicaid. These programs are not running at those percentages. That's just it's not a canard. It's just bullshit. It's absolute motherfucking bullshit. And so that's what you will stoop to. You'll stoop to anything. You'll take any kind of bullshit, any kind of piece of crap, and you'll try to make it into an argument because you're that fucking desperate and you're that much of a weasel. You have no desire to have an intelligent, honorable, fair conversation. Instead, you'll use this silly nonsense death tax or some other kind of bullshit. Because you're a weasel. You're a fucking goddamn big, fat weasel.
There's 5 cents on the dollar goes to administrative costs for private charity. Look it up.
Yeah, really, look that up, right. Okay, feed the children. No fucking way is it 5 cents on the dollar, you asshole. What they spend on marketing and administration and all the rest of the shit they do, oh, come on. Bull fucking goddamn shit. Even the United Way isn't running that efficient.
Salvation Army, Red Cross, all sorts of other charities.
Yeah, the Red Cross has got, you know, huge government subsidies go to the Red Cross, so let's not even bring that one up. Isn't that kind of silly? But whatever. Continue your bullshit.
They're non-profit organizations. They're not allowed to. Make a profit, really. And here's the thing.
Yeah, really. Except they do pay their little chieftains an awful lot of money. They spend an awful lot of money on salaries for the little talking heads, like Mrs. Dole or something will be the head of the Red Cross. They way overpay those fucktards. But get to your shit.
When you have multiple private charities, they have to compete with each other for your charitable donations. The act of competition forces them to actually be efficient.
No, know what it ends up doing? It forces them to do stupid things like send out a bunch of mailings and do a bunch of other commercial and advertising crap. So they end up like breast cancer things or something. They have all these walkathons and this or that, and you know they raise $300,000, and how much goes to the cause? $25,000. It's because they got to waste so much money on all this marketing and promotion crap to outcompete all the other noise that's being made by all the other fucking bullshit charities. And that's not the fucking point of civilization anyway. Civilization, if a civilization is working, you don't need fucking goddamn charity, okay? There should be no necessity for people to have to go out in the street and beg, you know, to retain their dignity, their basic human dignity. I mean, that's just bullshit in the first place.
With their money. Like the Salvation Army, they have, right now, an ad campaign where their slogan is, doing the most good.
Yeah, whatever. Let's not talk about. It's completely tied to religious organizations. I mean, again, it's a subsidized charity. So let's not even talk about fucking bullshit like that.
They cite their own statistics of, so many cents on the dollar actually goes to the recipient of your charitable donation.
Right, because there's a huge number of volunteers, right? And they volunteer through religious organizations, and a lot of other shit goes on there that has nothing to do with reality, living in the real fucking goddamn world. You stupid fucktard. And again, I don't even know what the fucking practical good is it, all right? You cure diseases. You don't sit there and keep making expensive Band-Aids. And I might argue the Salvation Army is just an expensive Band-Aid.
They're competing with each other in a marketplace. So here, and I'm not even going to go into what Jacob already told you about the morality issue. You're basically claiming that...
Oh, no, Jacob's your friend. Oh...